Tonight, Donald Trump is saying the quiet part out loud and on paper. A letter by his acting attorney general, James McHenry, leaves no doubt about why he fired the more than dozen career department lawyers.
I actually think it's pretty reasonable for the president, who was just elected, to not want people in his government that he runs who were just most recently trying to put him in jail.
The Department of Justice and the attorneys in the department should act free from any political influence or will.
Well, I think the nation's on a slippery slope. Once you start politicizing the judiciary and law enforcement, you begin to have this escalation of it. And you saw it under the Biden administration. And some of the charges against Donald Trump, I think, were not well founded, not well thought out from a prosecutorial perspective.
Okay, the whole premise behind this is weaponizing the DOJ and the fact that our host and a bunch of other people, we have Abby Phillips, she's the host of this CNN show, Ashley Akers, who is a just retired DOJ prosecutor. We also have Governor Tim Huntley, Minnesota Governor, and Maria Cardona. We don't really care for her at all. And of course, Superman, Mr. Jennings. What they're going back and forth on is that did Biden weaponize and is he weaponizing? Because Trump, the allusion is that Trump is now starting the weaponization because he's firing people, as Jennings just said, that we're actually trying to prosecute them. Why the hell would you want them on your administration? Let's let him get into it. The second part's kind of fun. I think you'll enjoy it. And I've got some commentary on that as too after we're done.
I mean, it seems like common sense to me that it wouldn't be right to force the president to run a government, at least which in part has been recently trying to jail him. I grant you that nothing wrong may have happened, that they may have done everything correctly, but still, he got elected. This is a government of the people that elects the president. It's not a government of the career prosecutors. And so I think for now, it's fine that they're not in the government. When he's not the president, and if they want to come back, I'm not sure I would have a problem with that. But I do think it's reasonable for the president to believe that the entire executive branch is, rowing in the direction that he sets as the duly elected president.
I just think that forgets the point that the Department of Justice and the attorneys in the department should act free from any political influence or will.
But it's a department of the executive branch. The president appoints the attorney general. It works for the president,
but
does
the
it not?
Department of Justice does not work for the president.
Yes,
the
it does.
Department of Justice works for the American people.
No, it works for the executive branch. It's in the Constitution. It exists in the executive branch.
The lawyers of the Justice Department work for the American people.
You're acting like it's an independent branch of government. It's in the executive branch, run by the president.
I mean, but the lawyers of the Justice Department work for the American people, not for the president of the United States, not the person in the office.
So you don't think anyone in the executive branch is bound to the head of the executive branch?
No.
Hold on, Scott. You just said something that's not correct.
What?
You tried to slip it in there. You said at the order of the president. That is completely false.
He did not appoint the prosecutor?
It is completely false that Joe Biden ordered the creation of someone to investigate Donald Trump. That did not happen.
If I could make an arrangement where I had a stand-in, a front man or front woman, and they had an earpiece in, and I was just in my basement in my sweats looking through the stuff, and then I could sort of deliver the lines, but somebody else was doing all the talking and ceremony, I'd be fine with that.
So the big argument is, did they point the DOJ against a specific person or against a crime? And they actually pointed them for a specific person. And we've kind of covered this, but I'm going to bring it up real quickly. Those 34 felonies, that was where, we've got misdemeanors for Trump because it was, he said he used a collateral of one of his buildings as collateral. And that's where all these crimes came from, that it was inappropriate in his funding. And those are felonies. No, they're not. They're misdemeanors. There was no harm. Everybody got paid back. There was no issues. Even the bank said everything was cool, but they prosecuted. They were prosecuting a person. Their argument was that the DOJ, instructed by President Biden, read Obama. By the way, I have no idea how Jennifer Aniston got at the end of that clip with Obama. That's just poor editing on my part. Mea culpa. I own it. Who knows, right? Maybe I'll do a story on that one pretty soon too. Bottom line is, it was pointed. It was targeted. And I don't blame Trump at all for getting rid of the people that were actually involved in the targeting. Let's carry on. There's more. Sorry to jump in the middle, but listen, it'd mean the world to me if you consider subscribing to the channel. If you're sitting on your couch, as I normally do, just take out your phone. You can scan the QR code. We'll keep it up for the remainder of the video in the lower right-hand corner, or just hit the subscribe button. It tells YouTube that we're providing some value, but more importantly, it lets us know that you are enjoying it. And that is the most important part for us because you're the reason we do it. Let's get back to it.
I mean,
you just said that, and that didn't happen.
They had a special
So,
prosecutor under the Biden administration that went after Donald Trump. They did
under the
not.
order of the president.
All these things are in the executive branch.
Okay, I get that.
This is my argument.
I get the
it is
Schoolhouse
an
Rock
executive
part of it,
branch,
Scott,
and the president's at the top of
You
it.
have no evidence that Joe Biden ordered the investigation.
He said on the record multiple times that
He
Donald
did
Trump
not-
should have been thrown in
okay,
jail, and
so
said that Merrick
if you
Garland failed
think-
by not doing
If
it.
Ashley's point is correct, that you think that it's just fine for the president of the United States to order whatever investigation he wants, what's wrong with that?
I think I am making a simple personnel argument.
what's wrong
the
with
Justice
it? No,
Department
no.
exists in the
Hold on.
executive branch,
Hold on.
and it exists under the president. It is not an independent agency.
If that is the case, then what would be wrong with Joe Biden? If that's the case, what would be wrong with Joe Biden saying, I'm going to order the Justice Department to go after my political enemies?
Okay, she's setting a trap. She's pretty smart. She's good at what she does. Here's the trap. But wait a second. Superman's in the house. Take it away, Superman.
there be nothing wrong with that by your logic?
Well, I don't think that there's any problem with the president as the head of the executive branch telling the Justice Department, I think things need to be investigated.
That is quite.
But it's up to them. It's up to them to decide whether laws were broken.
That is quite an extraordinary acknowledgement after 4 years of saying the Justice Department has been wrongly weaponized against Republicans. You are now saying it's okay.
I'm not saying it should be weaponized, but it doesn't exist separate from the president.
Here's the part that they seem to miss. She said very clearly that it's okay to weaponize it. No, he had said it's okay to go after and investigate if there is, in fact, a crime. Big difference than to go after a specific person. Now, I got to throw it out there for Superman, for Jennings. I mean, God bless him for being there. I would lose my mind surrounded by those ravens, those liberal piranha. I mean, they're just literally looking for any reason to justify what had happened. And the fact of the matter is, the entire Democratic Party has pretty much fallen apart due to really poor leadership. And it goes way back to Obama, Clinton, Biden. They have destroyed the confidence of the United States, of the people. And Jennings is sitting in that room surrounded by horrible people. I couldn't do it. It's tough enough for me to do the editing and looking at this. All right, I got a little bit more. I got some humor for you at the end. We have a celebrity who made an appearance, Gavin Newsom. Be here at the end of the show. Stick around for it. You want to see that. The main speaker in this one is Governor Pawlenty. He's brilliant. Listen to this man go.
It does not.
We have no evidence that Biden ordered it, but Biden's Justice Department did, in fact, go after Donald Trump. In fact, for example, when Donald Trump had classified documents, he gets prosecuted. When Biden has them in his garage, he gets written off as an old guy.
Biden's Justice Department also went after his son. His Justice Department also created a special counsel that did investigate his use of classified documents and released a scathing report that you could argue hurt him politically in an election year. So
but this is all changing.
You have to put all the cards on the table, not just the ones that you like.
Here's a quick summary of what happened at Mar-a-Lago. The FBI authorized the use of deadly force. Agents were prepared to engage with Trump and his Secret Service team. They had an on-site medical team available in case it got deadly. FBI risks the lives of Donald Trump, his family, his staff. Mar-a-Lago guests for a publicity stunt to make sure Trump looked like he stole secret files. Trump was the president of the United States. He is able to unclassify anything. Nothing he possesses is secret to him. Now, Joe Biden, on the other hand, because we want to be fair, was equally prosecuted. This is Joe leaving the scene of the hidden classified documents, by the way, which he had no right to have whatsoever. He, at that point, was a senator or a vice president, has no right to it. And Joe is now leaving the scene. They didn't arrest him for this, for leaving the scene of the crime in his Corvette. Those in the circle are the documents. Big difference on how they approach Biden and how they approach Trump. So she's wrong in this. But again, they're grasping at it. All right, we've beaten you up enough with this. Let's get to the important part. To wrap it up, this is two leaders meeting. I think this was really great of Newsom to show up and meet President Trump when he went out there, just like Biden did to Biden didn't go out there. That's right. Biden didn't make it at all. He didn't go there. I don't think he went to North Carolina. Yeah, I'm sure he didn't go to North. See, Biden went nowhere. Okay. And Kamala showed up only when she had to, but at least Trump is out in California and he met with Newsom. Newsom had something to say to Biden, and it was, you could just listen to this. Listen carefully to this. This is really good engagement between the two of them. Two leaders working together. You can feel free to play that part over and over again. I probably watched it around 30 times. I love AI. Welcome to Synopsis of Stupidity. We're glad you're here. God bless you. God bless America. God bless our troops. Now that we've got Pete Hegseth in the place, we are going to crush it. America's coming back. Golden age. See you next video.